Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Hopefully you can see me okay. I snuck down to the yoga room for today's class because it's just too noisy at my house. I thought I would be in this part of the room and there is nobody at the church, so I am practicing physical distance. Helen has joined us for today's class. That is our yoga frog. We're reminded with our sign that says come, and hopefully you can visit me in this room for this class. It's really great to be here. Really miss the space, and mostly I miss all of you. So I thought about something fun that we could do while I'm teaching online during this time that we have to be apart. I pride myself on, and I have to brag just a little bit here, that I can pretty much make a yoga class out of any theme. And you can throw anything at me and I will figure out a way that it can pertain for a lesson of yoga. In fact, it's a fun little challenge that I do with myself from time to time. So I was reading in one of my spiritual books yesterday about this plankton. That's what today's class is about. It's about plankton. How does plankton even relate to yoga? Stay with me for a moment. We have a lot to do today. Plankton, in this one area of the world, a specific type of plankton, lives at the bottom of this ocean. In this area. Sorry, I get lost in the details. You'll get the point. Every day, this plankton comes from the depths of the ocean, filters its way up all the way to the surface, but it doesn't just float up to the surface. It is busy throughout the entire journey. It filters through all of these particles and all of these pieces of bacteria and part of the ecosystem in the ocean. It metabolizes it, it filters things through it, and it actually excretes wastes that benefit the ocean. Who knew? So every day the plankton travels from below the surface, way, way down in the depths of the ocean, all the way up to the surface, and then all the way back down again. So the plankton is being very helpful in helping the ecosystem of the ocean. What does that have to do with yoga? In come the kidneys, seated right here, just above your lower back, and our lungs, which are housed in our rib cage, all the way from this nice angle here where the diaphragm sits, up higher, just higher than the collarbone. So you can see that the rib cage has quite an expanse of our lung capacity. The kidneys and the lungs are both filters, just like the plankton. See, I told you. And because yin yoga follows the Chinese meridian system, just like if you went and had acupuncture or acupressure, I like to use that as an example. It is these energy lines. It's a network that run through the body. And traditional Chinese medicine, they call it qi, and they call them meridians. In Thai yoga massage, they're called sen lines. In other yogic traditions, the energy is called prana or life force. It's all the same thing. It just has different names. The lungs energetically take in our qi or our energy, our life force, filtering up to 23,000 breaths a day. And you think about 23,000 breaths and how many you are actually conscious of. Once the qi is filtered in through the lungs, through the breath, it goes back and is stored in our kidneys. Now, there's some that believe we are born with a certain amount of energy that we're going to have throughout our lifetime that is stored right back in our kidneys. So we would have to be careful in that sense not to spend our energy unwisely. Stress, unhealthy habits, worry, that kind of thing. Yin yoga and many other practices help to restore and contain and keep that energy healthy. And certainly, I'm not a yogi scholar or monk or anything of that capacity, but I kind of question that we are born with the amount of energy that we're going to use throughout our life. I tend to think that we can inhale that energy in, letting it ride around the body, and eventually landing in the kidney home. So that's what I'm going with. Now, think also about the different circumstances that you have in your life. You may have a troubling issue in a relationship, for example, and you need to process that. You need to filter it through your emotional system until maybe you metabolize it, you figure it out, and you let it go. So we are filters. Our cells are filters. Our kidney urinary system is a filter. Our digestive system is a filter. The small intestine decides what it wants to keep, passes the rest on to the large intestine to be eliminated. And our lungs are filters, just like these plankton. I told you I would have a connection. So let's play. And I want you to come up with any topic you can think of, even a physical item, a toilet paper roll or a hand sanitizer bottle or whatever it might be. Send me a note either in my email, shannon.sprague70@gmail.com, or if we're friends on Facebook or you liked Heart First Yoga on Facebook, you can send me a message that way. Throw anything at me that you would like a yoga class to be made around, and I'll jump to the challenge. Why not? We'll have fun. Okay, quite a bit of talking. Without any further ado, let's come right down onto the belly. We're going to come right into a Sphinx pose. So let the legs be heavy. The front of the legs are resting very heavily on the floor. Same with the front of the pelvis. Place the elbows just underneath the shoulders and about shoulder width apart. You don't want your elbows back here as you'll be struggling to hold yourself up. You want your arms, the tops of your arms, to be like tent poles. I like to take my hands here in Sphinx. We're going to make this an easy Sphinx. Clasp them together and bring them back down to the floor. It's very comfortable for me on my forearms and my wrists. You can see here that I'm pushing up through my shoulder blades, and now I'm sinking down. This Sphinx pose is going to either be active for you or passive. If you want a more active Sphinx, prop yourself up, engage your trunk, pull your belly button in, bring your gaze down at your hands. If you want a more passive, relaxed Sphinx pose, let the top of the torso sink down toward the floor, and you can even just let the head hang down. You can see that the two variations look very differently from each other. So pick your choice. Maybe you want somewhere in between. Once you're there, close your eyes and find the natural breath that is breathing your body. In and out through your nose, you have all of those tiny little nostril hairs that also act like filters. Holding particles, dust particles, allergens, those are the things that maybe might make your nose run or make you sneeze. As you inhale, feel the belly pushing into the floor. And as the body is resting, relaxed, see if the breath can even move the body slightly with each inhalation and exhalation. Letting your first few breaths of your practice seal your commitment to being here with me for the next while. As we work to stimulate both the lung and kidney meridians. Begin to deepen your breath. Inhaling, purposefully pushing the belly into the floor. Exhaling, releasing. Continuing this natural breath. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your mind's eye to your nostrils. As you inhale, inhale fully through the nostrils. As you exhale, imagine that you're exhaling through your left nostril only. Inhale, focus left nostril. Exhale, focus right nostril. You're obviously inhaling and exhaling through both. Inhale right, you're just shifting your attention. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Continue this, switching after each inhalation. So inhale left, exhale right. Take a few more rounds of this, what I call faux alternate nostril breathing. And notice if you can notice the breath going down into just one lung. So we're just playing with our awareness. So for example, if you're inhaling right, notice the air going through the right nostril, down the right bronchioles, into the right lung. And as you're exhaling, same thing. Switching sides, settling in, quieting your mind. A few more rounds of faux alternate nostril breath. And then return your breath back to its natural breath, letting go of the effort. Take one more big breath in, fill the lungs all the way up. As you exhale, slide the elbows out to the side, unclasp your hands, place one on top of the other, and bring your forehead right down onto your hands. Come into crocodile. Bend your bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Maybe point and flex your feet. Make little circles in one direction, little circles in the other. One more big breath in here. And as you exhale, slowly take your time and roll over onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest, and let's come into a nice little hug. You can rock side to side, make little circles one direction, and then the other. Pull your belly button in, keep your knees tucked in tight to your tummy. Let your arms come out to a T initially, and then let the knees drop over to the left. You can either find a landing pad for them. Blocks, great idea. You can put a block under your bottom knee or between your knees. You can put a blanket or let them hang out in space. Keep your arms stretched out to a T, or take your right arm and bend it, draping it over your head. Only if that is okay with your shoulder and your neck. Find your breath. Imagine your breath being filtered starting at your nostrils. Inhaling through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, through your trachea, all the way down to your lungs. In some 2,000-year-old yogic scripture, the Upanishads, it talks about in there how some yogis, years and years and thousands of years ago, would offer up troubles or problems, worries, up to God. They call God Brahman. Brahman is the ultimate consciousness. There is no form with Brahman. Imagine a formless sky or universe as vast as you know. That's Brahman. There is no form. They would offer up these troubles or situations to Brahman and let Brahman purify the problems. They would filter their troubles through God. Take one more breath here, and I will tell you part B of the story when we move on to the other side. Let's bring that arm down. Bring the legs back up to center just for a moment. Little squeeze in, arms out to a T. Get a little abs of steel workout. Use the core. Let the knees fall over to the other side. Take that left arm this time, if it's okay with the shoulder, and drape it over your head. So part B of the story is we still do the same thing. When we pray, if I'm in church or church members, some of my church family, we may be in church on a Sunday, these days online, and we pray, or maybe we pray at night, or when we need help, or when we want to share gratitude, we're filtering ourselves, our ideas, our thoughts, our love, through prayer up to God. Same thing with yoga. If you bring material from your life, grist for the mill, as I call it, onto your yoga mat, you're filtering your life through yoga, through your poses, through your breath work. And you may actually leave your mat with a different perspective. That's what the hope is. The hope is to condition the mind to let go of the troubling ideas and troubling thoughts and to free yourself mentally and emotionally, settling into the present moment. We do this over and over again, filtering our lives through our experiences and circumstances. Let's take 3 more breaths. I told you we have a lot to catch up on. We have a lot to do. I have a lot to say and a lot to share today. So thank you for the indulgence of listening if you decide to take this class. One more big breath in, and as you exhale, keep rolling all the way over onto your right side. Tuck your bottom arm under just for a breath. In your next inhalation, straighten out the top leg, push up through your arm, and come back up onto your hands and knees. Let's take puppy pose, continuing to work with the lung meridian. Knees are underneath the hips. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Keep your hips right where they are. I need to take my glasses off for this one or I will smush them into my face. Keep your hips right where they are. Don't move them at all. The bottom half of you stays still. The top half stretches out like a cat in the morning doing their morning stretch. Stretch the arms up overhead.
bring the forehead down to the floor, or you can bring the forehead down to a block. You can let the arms then relax. If this does not feel good at all on your body, then just sit your hips back and come into child's pose. If it does feel okay, let the back arch like you would in a downward facing dog. Let the torso drape toward the floor like a hammock, and find your breath. We can even filter situations through a conversation with a trusted friend. Maybe we have a situation that we don't know what to do with. So we call a friend and we say, here's this, here's how I'm going to handle it, or do you have any ideas? I don't know what to do. The kidneys filter our blood all day long, and they have the most amazing recycling system where as the blood is traveling through these tubes, all of the things that the body says, hey, wait, I can reuse that, we keep. It is only the chemicals and the molecules and the wastes and things that we can't use that get sent off and turned into urine for elimination. The body is so smart. The kidneys had the save the world concept down before it was even a real thing. That's a little recycling joke. Nobody's here to laugh. Okay, one more big breath in. Blow it all out. And as you inhale, come back up onto hands and knees. I will put my glasses on so that I can see the screen. Okay. This time we're coming into a nice wide child's pose. Make the knees come nice and wide, big toes touch. Sit back on your heels. Slide all the way down into a child's pose, but don't get comfortable yet. Walk your hands over to the left. So we're in a little bit of a side bending child's pose. And then take that right arm and thread it underneath the left. So we're combining a side bend with a twist. Find the nice deep breath and let the breath free up any tightness or tension that you may feel in and around the shoulder blades and the ribs. I had to come rescue my plants today. I may have already said that. I'm sorry if I repeat myself. So I thought I would sneak and teach a class while I was down here. Think of all the places in your life where you may filter things. Maybe you pray. Maybe it's your yoga practice. Maybe you journal, filtering through your thoughts on a page. Maybe you do art. Maybe you're a farmer. There's so many different ways that we can filter our life to work things out. One of my favorite things to do is hiking in the woods with my dogs. I might play a spiritual book or some music and I talk to them and talk to God, work things out. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. Slowly start to drag that arm back out from under. And walk your hands, if it's okay to keep your knees right where they are, walk your hands over to the right. Side bend first, And then tuck the left arm under and come into your twist. Find some nice deep breaths there. Besides filtering blood, some of the other jobs that our kidneys perform, they help to maintain a healthy blood pressure, they help regulate our blood sugar, they help with fluid balance. That's all on a physical level. On an energetic level, if you feel irritable or frustrated, or you have low energy, that is a result of having an energetic imbalance in your kidneys. For your lungs, when you feel strong and your lung meridian is balanced, you may feel a sense of courage. You may have a reverence for all things, which is a deep love for the essence of that very thing or being. And if your lung meridian is out of balance, you may have grief. The other big thing is if your kidney meridian is out of balance, you may experience fear. So those are some things to think about as we strive to balance these meridians today. Let's take 3 more deep breaths in this wide-kneed, side-bending, twisted child's pose. It sounds like a lunch special at a deli. Hold the pickle. Now, going from where you are to where I would like you to be, I want you to take your time, taking several breaths and any movement that makes sense in between where you are and where I am, which is sitting upright in a nice, comfortable position. Take your time, no rush. We have no place to be other than with each other. I like to have something to sit on when I'm going to sit up tall. I use a nice flat pillow here that we have in the yoga room to just prop my sits bones. I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side for those of you who may not have ever done this with me before. So you take whatever it is you want to sit on, whether it's a flat pillow or maybe the edge of a folded blanket, and you put it right on the edge of your sits bones. So it almost looks like I'm barely even sitting on the pillow. When you do that, it helps to tip the pelvis forward. For example, if I didn't have this, I might look like this, having a hard time sitting up. So I like to prop myself up on something. We're going to come into butterfly. You can have your blocks handy. I'll show you how to use them if you would like to. Bring the soles of your feet together and let's make a big diamond. So instead of having the feet tucked up in toward the body, let's bring the feet away from you enough that if you brought them away from you anymore, they would start to spread apart. So keep them together, but keep them far away so you have this nice big diamond shape that you've made. As you sit up nice and tall, you can start to lean forward with the torso. Here's where the blocks come in. You can either stay just like this. I'm resting on my elbows. You could put your elbows on your shins and rest your chin on your hands. Or you can take these blocks, stack them up, and rest your forehead. You decide. Your body, your practice, your tissues. Decide where you want to be and be there.
Was it Abraham Lincoln that said, "Whatever you become, be a good one"? Well, that quote just popped into my mind. It has nothing to do with planktons, filters, or butterfly pose, but whatever pose you decide to come into, whatever shape you decide to come into, make it good for you. I can even make a quote from Abraham Lincoln applicable to a yoga pose. How fun is that? Let's find some nice deep breaths. I like to make themes and to offer lessons, spiritual lessons or insights or ideas that wrap into the physical poses that I offer so that we can touch ourselves on a deeper level than just stretching our hamstrings. We can make our practice very holistic. Mind, body, and spirit. That's what I aim for. You know that you can keep whatever you want and let go of the rest. 3 more deep breaths in this butterfly pose. Each time you exhale, you may notice your torso sinking further and further to the floor as we are patient with these tissues that are responding and letting time and gravity help us out. And the next time you inhale, you can use your hands and slowly press your way back up. Let's bring the knees together. You can use your hands. Swing around. And let's revisit Sphinx. So we're kind of up and down off the floor a lot today. I want you to use your transitions as a way to take care of yourself and as poses in and of themselves. So let's come back into Sphinx pose. Let's revisit that. Legs are heavy, fronts of the legs resting on the floor. And whether you took the more active approach of Sphinx pose, remember we're propped up here, or the more passive approach, see what suits you now and come into your option. Sometimes it's nice to take the same option so that you can see if there's a difference between where you started and where you are now. And other times it's fun to drop the knowledge of the last time you were here and come in to a different variation. Close your eyes and come into our faux alternate nostril breath. Inhale through both nostrils. Awareness over to the left nostril as you exhale. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right nostril into the right lung. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Switching back and forth. After each inhalation, switch sides. Three more rounds of alternate nostril breathing.
Let the effort go and return to your natural breath. For one full breath in. And as you exhale, slide the elbows out, make a pillow, and come back into crocodile. Let the forehead come to rest on your hands. You can keep your eyes closed here, relaxing and resting in crocodile pose. Feeling the belly press into the floor each time you inhale, and relaxing each time you exhale. Letting every muscle fiber go, becoming very passive, heavy. Let everything be soft. And just focus on your breath. Taking 3 more breaths. Let's come into half frog. So from crocodile, simply draw your left knee up on the floor. The leg is on the floor. The inside of the foot can be flat on the floor. Push the knee away from you slightly. And you can stay with your head in crocodile, with your head still on your hands. And find your breath. Three deep breaths. Slide the left leg long, straighten it out. Inhale, bring the right knee up and the right foot opposite side. And find your breath. Stretching the kidney meridian along the inside of the thigh in half frog. Three more full, deep breaths. Slide the right leg long and roll right over onto your back. One more time. As you rest on your back, draw your knees up towards your chest and just hold on to your ankles. Let the soles of the feet come together and let the knees splay wide in a reclined butterfly. take 5 breaths here. Keep the right leg right where it is. Hold on to the outside of the left foot and come into half happy baby. So you have a happy baby left leg and a butterfly right leg. See how this feels? A little asymmetrical shape going on. We will do the other side. We will have a nice balance in the brain. Continuing to stretch the kidney meridian. Inhale, fill the lungs. As you exhale, switch. So left leg butterfly, right leg half happy baby. Fill your lungs. Exhale, squeeze the knees into the chest. And come into your Shavasana. Whether you would like to be flat on your back, belly, side, legs up the wall, it doesn't much matter. I will leave you with a blessing and a wish and a prayer. As you get settled into your Shavasana, cover up with a blanket, maybe put something over your eyes. I am virtually handing you an eye pillow, Sabina, Sue Collins, and Kat, and everybody else that likes one. Margaret, Jen. Settle in, get comfy, maybe put a big pillow, Lisa, under your knees. Here's an eye pillow for you too, Brenda, and an extra blanket pillow for the back of your head. Allow your breathing to return to its natural breath. And as you rest here heavily and deeply, letting your lungs filter, letting your kidneys filter, and letting this beautiful, amazing life that you have been given filter every moment, every experience, every relationship, job, emotion, thought, and idea. Filter through the tenderness, the majesty of your own heart. The master of ceremonies, the boss, the one who is supremely in charge. Let's hope that all beings everywhere
have this ability to turn to their hearts when making the biggest decisions of their lives, so that we and they may know peace and may be happy and healthy, living with abundance, at least enough, safe from sorrow and suffering. Please linger in Shavasana for as long as you would like to. It was my pleasure to share this class with you, and send me a note about a fun theme. It will help keep me going. It's a way for us to interact. Sending love to you all. Namaste. Stay healthy, everyone.